Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to AkzoNobel e-learning webinar. My name is Hyojun Kim, Sub Manager of a new building in Marine segment at AkzoNobel. Today, I will take you through introducing AkzoNobel's bestseller Universal Prima Intershield 300 and its higher solid version Intershield 300 HS. This presentation outlines the key performance features which make Intershield 300 and 300 HS an ideal choice for long-term asset protection and environmental responsibility. For those ship owners who requires through life asset protection with minimal maintenance and repair, you'd better watch this and enjoy the e-learning session. The topic for today's webinar is as follows. We will start with reviewing what is Intershield 300 and its role in marine coating industry as a universal primer. Then move on to the development background of Intershield 300 HS. In this session, we will touch Korea VOC regulation, which was already being entered into force since 1st of January 2020. Then we move on to key criteria for performance evaluation for universal primer. In this session, we will compare the in-house laboratory test result between Intershield 300 and 300 HS to prove that our argument that those are the same product. And I will end the webinar with a summary of what we've covered today. After the session, we will leave you with a link to our website where you can get in touch with us for the details about today's webinar. Let's move on to the first topic, Intershield 300 in marine industry. The Intershield 300 is a unique high-performance, light-colored abrasion resistant of a 9% aluminum pure epoxy anti-corrosion coating, which is suitable for application over prepared shop primers. Almost 30 years after its introduction, Intershield 300 is now firmly established as a new building industry benchmarking for premium performance, abrasion resistance, corrosion protection. Intershield 300 is available in the new building and maintenance and repair sector as an integral part of an overall corrosion protection program designed to provide cradle-to-grave protection for the ship. On the right-hand side picture shows in-service performance of Intershield 300 in ballast area after 20 years. Surprisingly, the owner of this vessel did not carry out any of maintenance work, owing that it has no corrosion and defects. The main technology for Intershield 300 is over 9% aluminum pigmentation. The aluminum pigmentation restricted the water access to the steel, which means increased critical path length pigment, adding to the anti-corrosive protection. Aluminum acts both as a barrier pigment and also actively at the steel surface to buffer the spread of corrosion. The addition of aluminum to Intershield 300 has a major effect on the anti-corrosive performance of the system, but it is not the only aspect of formulation that gives Intershield 300 such a high performance. We've monitored that although there was the same percentage of aluminum in the dry film products, did not perform the same as Intershield 300. This is technical know-how of international brand of AkzoNobel. Intershield 300 provides a unique balance of abrasion and corrosion resistance with the optimum level of hardness and flexibility for long-term performance and ultimate corrosion control. Intershield 300 has set the standard since 1988. Intershield 300 has pioneered and delivered proven performance in corrosion protection and has been applied to over 22,500 vessels from marine merchant ships. The track records of about 22.5 thousand vessels includes LNG, chemical carrier, bulk carrier, oil tanker, cruise liner, and container ships, and has over 3,800 vessels track record in ballast area application. On the right-hand side, these are the pictures which prove Intershield 300 in service performance. From the top, 20 years in ballast, and bottom one is 19 years in service condition, and these were in excellent condition. A follow-up question. If this is the case, and Intershield 300 is the world-class product, then why we need the higher solid version of Intershield 300? If there is a question like this, then this is a very good question. In more than 20 years on from the launch of Intershield 300, and with stringent environmental legislation now in place, AkzoNobel identified a clear need for higher solid version development of the product. Intershield 300HS provides a balance of key attributes required for an ultra-performance universal primer. As one attribute is changes, other parameters may also be affected. It has not been a simple case of removing some solvent. Therefore, an extensive and rigorous test program carried out over 30 man-years utilizing both in-house testing in our research laboratories worldwide, along with the external testing in various shipyards, was undertaken. Whilst the Ministry of the Environment in South Korea first introduced VOC regulation affecting marine and offshore coatings in 2015. From the 1st January 2020, the second wave of VOC regulation came into effect with tighter emission limits. The new regulation would impact the types of marine and offshore coatings which can be applied by all shipbuilding and fabrication yards. The South Korea, one of the new building dynamic country, due to strengthened VOC limit, application of Intershield 300 is no longer available in this country. The VOC limits of universal primer in this country is now 320 gram per liter as applied basis. So Intershield 300 HS has been developed to help both owners and shipyards to comply with local VOC emission regulations. Intershield 300 HS has been available since 2008 as a low VOC, high solid formulation with over 9% aluminum pigmentation coatings. There has been hundreds of successful ballast tank applications since the product was launched. We argue that it delivers the same outstanding corrosion control the shipping industry has come to expect from Intershield 300 and available globally. Only the difference is volume solid and VOC level. Intershield 300 HS is high solid, light colored, abrasion resistant aluminum pure epoxy coating which has identical performance to Intershield 300. Intershield 300 HS can be applied to mechanically prepared shop primer or suitably prepared bare steel, intended to be used as a universal primer at new building or for maintenance and repair. It can be applied directly to steel and is suitable for use with controlled cathodic protection. Let's move on to supporting argument that Intershield 300 and 300 HS has the same performance. Performance comparison Intershield 300 with Intershield 300 HS. There are 6 evaluate criteria for universal primer to ensure long-term asset protection. How it designed the product, anti-corrosive performance, cathodic disabondment, abrasion resistance, edge retention, and crack resistance. Let's review from formulation of Intershield 300 and 300 HS. Formulation of Intershield 300 HS. It is based on the same technology as Intershield 300 and offers 3 layers of protection. The first, binder system. Intershield 300 HS has been developed with an optimal blend of the components using many years of experience and knowledge. The result is a low VOC, higher solid coating, which offers a combination of excellent anti-corrosive properties crack resistance, and application properties. The second one is barrier pigmentation. The primary barrier pigmentations of coating comes from the binder system. However, the pigmentation used can be greatly improve the barrier properties of the system. Aluminum flake has a high aspect ratio and provides excellent barrier properties. Intershield 300HS utilize the maximum allowable level of aluminum flake under class society rules, which is over 9% and less than 10% by weight in the dry film. Aluminum acts both as a barrier pigment and also actively at the steel surface to buffer the spread of the corrosion. These three layers are the core competence of Intershield 300HS of the protection. Anti-corrosive performance. Ideally, when the vessels are constructed, the recommended DFT, which is dry film thickness, will be achieved in all area of the project. But in reality, in ballast area, that doesn't. Although there is the 1910 rules as a part of IMO PSPC, with this in mind, we've designed the test program to simulate the water ballast area condition and prepare the panel at lower DFT, which is at the range of 150 microns to 160 microns, and put them into the various temperature conditions. This is also part of acceleration anti-corrosive program developed by AkzoNobel. The results show that for 12-month condition at 40 degrees C, both panels did not show any defects. At 25 degrees C, both panels did not show any defects. Of course, we also put standard DFT applied panel for the test and monitor the panels at 25 degrees C for 18 months. Both panels did not show any defect. At 40 degrees C seawater for 18 months, both panels did not show any defects. At a condensation condition for 6 months, both panels did not show any defects. Resistant to cathodic dismantlement. AkzoNobel has developed own cathodic dismantlement test method. It is accelerated cathodic dismantlement testing, which simulates the condition of ballast tank area. Carried out the test with 2 coats of 160 microns applied panels. The test results show that Intershield 300 HS demonstrate equivalent performance to Intershield 300, with having less than 3 mm creep length. While other suppliers' solvent-borne coating showed a much longer creep length, which mirrors inferior performance versus Intershield's series. A abrasion resistance performance comparison. AkzoNobel has developed an abrasion resistance test method, joint collaboration with external independent institute to evaluate the performance. The range of pressure for the test is at 31 to 62,000 kg per square meter. The test results are shown that Intershield 300 HS demonstrate equivalent anti-abrasion properties to Intershield 300. While other suppliers' solvent-borne coating showed higher damage than Intershield series. An anti-retention property. Edge area protection is also critical. Most coatings start to fail on edge, therefore coatings with good edge retention is the best solution. The test results showed that Intershield 300 and 300 HS has 100% edge retention and offers a full protection even on complex structure. The final one is crack resistance. AkzoNobel has developed own crack resistance test methods to simulate the ballast area. The temperature range from minus 20 degrees C to 60 degrees C at high humidity. As you can see in the picture, in various conditions of the test, from different cycling temperature to the different surface preparation level, the test results show that the Intershield 300 HS has equivalent crack resistance to Intershield 300. The summary. Intershield 300 is a unique high-performance, light-colored abrasion resistance with over 9% aluminum pigmentation universal primer. Intershield 300 HS has been developed to help both owners and shipyards to comply with local VOC emission regulation. Intershield 300 HS has a high solid, light-colored, abrasion-resistant aluminum pure epoxy coating, which has identical performance to Intershield 300. Intershield 300 has been benchmarked and well received to the market as the best solution for anti-corrosive and anti-abrasion option for all vessel area. And Intershield 300 HS will do the same role in marine coating industry. For more information, please consult your AkzoNobel representative for the details. Thank you.